Okay, so I discovered that you really can't do that. What I was planning, which was to put a little window of myself. At least I haven't figured it out yet. So we'll just record the flight simulator. Okay, so we're in flight simulator. And I just want to check something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, because I got a little too loud yesterday and it was distorting. That does not seem to be the case right now. All right, so we've got the airplane already. I'm using the Cessna 280, or the Grand Caravan as people know it. And so let's set up a flight. Okay, so what I'm familiar with is I flew to in the simulator. I flew from Collingwood to Thunder Bay, so I've got all those things set up here. So that's what we'll do. So I'll pick a parking spot. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to set it up on the ground as opposed to in the air. Use flight. I don't think I can do that. All right, and we will set Thunder Bay, CYQT. Oops. Charlie Yankee, Quebec Tango. Always have trouble with Quebec for some reason. All right, and there it is, Thunder Bay. Now, if you just, as far as I can tell, there is no way to set waypoints. If there was, I would do it, but does not seem to be. So I don't know if there's something here. No. All right. While we're waiting, I'll describe my setup here. I have the flight yoke, the rudder Logitech rudders, and the throttle quadrant. Without those three devices, it makes it very difficult to fly. I know, because I used to try. Anyways, with them, it's still about as close to the real thing, because I used to fly many years ago, 42 years ago to be exact, and they didn't have a lot of these neat things. There we go.
Toronto Center, Cessna Charlie, Foxtrot X-Ray Yankee Zulu. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace. Cessna Charlie, Foxtrot X-Ray Yankee Zulu, Toronto Center. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Well, it looks like it put me in the air, which is all right,
Cleared
I
through
suppose.
Bravo airspace, Cessna X-Ray Yankee Zulu.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's go to... So to do this, as you can see, we already have a flight plan, which goes directly from CNY3 to CYQT. and that's fine, but this is a single engine aircraft, and I don't like to fly over so much water. So let's put a couple of waypoints in to get us to follow the shoreline. So to do that, you go to your flight planning, FPL, and that shows you what you've got so far. All right. Now what we want to do is add in here a waypoint. So let's start with the first waypoint, which in this case is let me sit up a bit here. CYQA, which I believe is Ravenhurst, Muskoka. So to do that, we have to make sure we are in waypoint management. There. I moved the inner ring, sorry, the outer ring to WP, which is waypoint management. Then I go to the outer ring, and as you can see, I can move it, but nothing's happening. That's because you have to select it. You can do that by hitting while you're holding it in adjustment. Like I have the right mouse button held. Now I'm going to click the left mouse button. And you can see that the destination starts flashing. Now we can move the cursor around. Okay. Let's put it over this line, which is between this is what happens if you start flying without being at an airport, which is not what I wanted to happen, but we'll fly with it. All right, so what we want to do is select an airport, and as I said, that's CYQA, and you just move the cursor, mouse cursor, the wheel, up a couple of times, and it'll come up in L. So that's about midpoint. So we want to scroll back to C, and then you use the outer ring to go to the next field, the inner ring to go to Y, and since Y is closer, if we go backwards, that's exactly what we will do. CY, Canada Yankee, Charlie Yankee, and then we want to go to Quebec. Charlie Yankee Quebec Alpha, which is automatically came up, and as you can see is Muskoka. Enter. Now you can't see it. Maybe I can zoom in on it. There you go. So we're flying not on course, so let's leave it at that for now. So I will punch the right button on the outer ring, which turns that off, and go back to our now let's see which way we're actually headed. It should be better bring up the map. Okay, this is the original course, so we need to come around, and we're so far off course for my new course setting that we're going to have to do that with the heading bug. So let's bring the heading bug around to the right. Down a little more. There we are. Now I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn that map right off because it's not much use now. All right, where are we? And go due south. Alright, so we've set that up, and we're going to turn on heading. And next thing we have to do is set an altitude. You see we're already turning. speed. We don't want to go down, we want to go up. Alright, and turn on the autopilot. Okay, so now you can see that we're climbing. Not very fast. It's because we're already up at 9,700 feet, so you know what? That's cool. So I've hit the Alt button. That should level our wings. It didn't. Okay, so the autopilot somehow got shut off, so actually, I should have gone the other way, so I'm going to guess that's about 90 degrees. Brought my heading bug over to the right a little bit, so we intercept the course we've selected. And we'll stay within the control area we're in. And let me just turn this down, because last night you couldn't hear me from the engine noise. There we go. All right. Close to ground. I really don't feel safe flying in a single engine aircraft over large bodies of water. Although this one I believe is Lake Simcoe. No, it's not. It's part of Lake Ontario. Or Georgia Bay actually. So anyways, we will intercept our new course. Just to the left of our departure point, or where we started flying now. You can see here we've entered Muskoka. So while she's flying towards the intercept point, at which point when we get close I must hit the nav button. I can't do that now, I don't think. No, because we're too far away. Alright, so while we're waiting, go back to flight planning and we're still in waypoint. We are now. Right mouse will bump the inner control. There we go. And it starts flashing. So we'll get down to that, which is where we enter the next point, which is CYSB. Back to C. Back to Y. Maybe I should zoom in for you. I hope the resolution's better than it was last night. Anyway, so we got CY, outer ring once, CYSB, 0 Bravo, PQR. S. Oops, jump to T, okay. And up 1, 2, Bravo. Bravo. Once you see that it is in fact Sudbury, hit the enter button. CYSB is in there. If you do enter something and it's wrong, you can move the cursor back with the outer ring and then hit clear. That will remove the entry you just put in. But we don't want to do that. Okay, next one is CYEL, Elliott Lake. Oops, didn't move. I thought I had moved, but I didn't. So get C back in. Okay, up to the next field. There we go. And we want to go to Y. Oops. And now we want E. Field. And there's Elliott Lake, enter, and it's now part of our flight plan. Show you what's happening on our map. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so that's Muskoka, or that's where we left. That's Muskoka. That's Sudbury, and that's Elliott Lake. The reason it's below us is because we're heading due south. Now, we better get into the. Oh, it picked it up itself. You see, it's automatically turning. It picked up the course. I didn't have to do a thing. Which is interesting because I don't think I have nav on. Oops, nav came on itself. Maybe because I hit it and that told the Q1 the Q-1000 that I wanted to go into nav mode when we and intercept the course. Okay, so now we're flying on the heading to Muskoka. Okay, when we get to Muskoka, it will turn and follow the heading to Elliott Lake. Okay, when it gets to Elliott Lake, I'm sorry, not Elliott Lake, Sudbury. When it gets to Sudbury, it will follow the heading to CYQ, which is, I forgot what it is, but I can figure that out. Probably Saint Marie, but we'll see. CYQT. Oh, that's Elliott. That's Thunder Bay. So you see, we're going to avoid Georgian Bay. Let me zoom in a bit here. We're going to avoid Georgian Bay. Now I could have looked around in here for a while. I didn't. So we need to put a waypoint that'll pull our course back over land. And I have found, let's see, what was the last one? Elliott Lake. Now we're going to go to CYAM. So, scroll back to C. Move up to the second field and put in Y. Scroll to the next field and put in A. Scroll to the next field. Oops, still in the same field. put in M. M, not N. There we go. Sault Ste. Marie, I was right. Enter. Now watch down here. So you can see what's going on. Alright, so from Sudbury to Elliott Lake to, what is CYA? Did I say that was? Sault Ste. Marie. Okay. Still showing us over water, so we're going to put in the next one after Sault Ste. Marie, and that is CYXZ. Watch again down here. Wawa. Wawa, watch here. There we go. Notice the CYKZ Wawa jump in there. How come we don't have any detail? And we'll worry about that later. So now we got Wawa. Now we're going to go to, I think it's Marathon's next. Okay, so that is CYSP. Charlie Yankee Sierra Papa. Right, Marathon, okay. Watch over here. There's that one just popped up. Okay. And that really would be all that we would need. As you can see, we're going up to Muskoka, I guess, and then it's going to go to CYSB, Sudbury, and then it's going to go to CY Elliott Lake down here. So it's completely following the lake, so we're not flying over water at all. It's at in considerable distance, but if you don't want to fly over water, and I don't know if it's legal to even do so in Canada. In the States, as long as you have flotation equipment with you, it's okay, apparently. I don't know for sure, but maybe some of the American pilots can tell me. Alright, so we got all our waypoints in. Now I had one more, which was CY TJ, which I think was, let's find it, put it in there. So again, we go to the outer ring, the inner ring, and go up one. That brings up the waypoint information window, and then we scroll back to see, move the outer ring one notch, and that brings us to the next field, and we go to Y. And we go to T, Tango, one to the next few, oops. Sometimes it doesn't always move when you move the mouse. CYTJ is in Juliet. Terrence Bay, that's what I was trying to remember. Watch down here. Bingo. There we have all of our waypoints are in. So how do you save it? Well, I'm not really sure that it isn't already saved, but what you want to do is get this flashing thing to stop, and you do that by kicking the inner knob once. There, it stopped flashing. So I think everything is in. So leave the flight plan window. Let's see if I can zoom in. There you go. That's a little better. So when we get to Muskoka, let's see how far we are from Muskoka. Well, we got a ways to go. Okay, so when we get to Muskoka, it'll turn automatically and follow from Muskoka to Sudbury, and then from Sudbury to Elliott Lake, and from Elliott Lake to whatever that is, I keep forgetting, Sault Ste. Marie, and it goes to Wawa. Nice place to visit. I've been there 3 times. Then we go to Marathon. And lastly, we go to Terrence Bay.